So here is the short quiz that I created for my students to take once they have completed taking their notes on the Our Earth Solar System PowerPoint that I have created for them to go over either in class or at home. Notice at the top to the left, what I normally do is I mark the questions that I feel or that I know that I will either put on the actual test or ask them down the road, like when we're doing other activities. I mark them as required. Well, during the quiz, required just means that they have to answer it. So, students, first of all, will not be able to submit their quiz if they do not put their name in their class period. They will receive a zero. And the asterisks and the red asterisks that are next to the questions are questions that need to be answered in order for students to submit their quiz. The first question here is, what is the closest planet to the sun? I made this question important and required because I want my students to know that the closest planet to the sun is the Earth. And I just know that that's a question that I will be asking them down the road just to make sure that they have retained their information the right way. The next question that I have required is, what planet is the smallest compared to Earth? So I want my students to know what planet is the smallest, what planet is the biggest, and what planet is the closest to the sun. And this is one of those questions. Next is, how many planets does the solar system consist of? This question I definitely will be asking my students more of down the road in our class. I know that later on in my class that I'm going to be talking about other planets other than Earth in our solar system. And when I do bring those planets up, I want my students to know what they are, where they are, how big they are, what they're made of, and everything else about it that I want them to know. So that when I do talk about it later on down the road, it doesn't seem like new information to my students. Here is a series of questions, just two questions that I will make short answer questions at the end of my actual test that I give my students. The first question is, what causes Mars to have the reddish color that it does? The second question is, how many planets are in the Earth's solar system and what are their names?